Welcome, Shraddha. It's our pleasure to have you in our podcast.
Hello.
So, introduce yourself.
My name is Shraddha Felix Kadam. I am a BE mechanical engineer. I work as a sales and marketing engineer in core sector for MColloys.
Oh, great. So, tell me more about the core sector.
Core sector actually contains of multiple sectors which are mining, steel, cement and power.
So, tell me more about us in the. I saw that in the core sector, there's a mining field.
So mining as a sector is very vast, and to be a part of mining sector in India is mostly we are blessed in the eastern regions.
Okay.
So we have major mines over there, and in mining sector we majorly cater to iron ore, bauxite, copper, these types of mining.
So, can you tell us the more about the mining processes to our audience? Like, how it works? Like,
Mining is a process that can be applied for multiple minerals, and to have it in a multiple minerals, the process is same. So, to a similar process, extractions are two types, mostly surface as well as underground. Opposed to that, we have haulage and transportation, sizing, crushing. Then again, it gets to multiple different departments like raw material handling, pallet plants, according to its size, according to the texture, moisture content of the what do you call it material, as well as then it later goes to sampling, testing, and so forth.
so can you just elaborate the whole process of mining industry and how big is the market of this company, like mining industry?
When we are talking about mining, it's a huge sector that we are talking. So it is not just in India. We are like totally globally. Also, people still are what do you call it, dependent on mining. So we can't just push it out and say renewable energy. So we still are dependent on mining. Mining plays a very important role to us as well. So what happens in mining? There are different processes, and the process starts from, as I told you earlier, starts with extraction, then it goes to haulage, transportation, then to different types of storage, mostly are which are temporary. So storage and haulage, then again to crushing, sizing, and then back to blending, and later it gets to analysis and out of the plant.
I saw your website. In that website, there are many liners like Super liners, EDP. Can you just tell me more about that liners and where did it apply on the mining industry? Where it applies?
Okay, so basically, as I told you, crushing and sizing plays a major role
Yeah.
in mining. As the extraction के बाद में it comes directly to what you call it, crushing. Now, big boulders, when you're extracting from Mother Earth, you're then sizing it down as per your usage, as per what the application would be of converting and sizing it. So there are primary crushers, secondary crushers, and to different levels and different processes of the mining entirely. So when I'm talking about primary crushers, mostly those are gyrators. So gyrators may there are multiple chocobars that we provide, which can be installed on the gyrator's arms, on the ring, multiple various structures. Then again in the secondary there are cone crushers, ball mill liners. So in ball mill crusher or cone crusher, which are secondary crushers, over there also we provide multiple liners to it. So there are multiple wear liners, wear parts, as well as when the crusher, when the ore is traveling from primary to secondary and so forth, when the sizing is happening, it happens through a transportations of multiple chutes, multiple bins, multiple hoppers. So what is basically the use of chutes or hoppers or bins are basically transporting. At times bin has a temporary storage to it as well. So when this is happening, what happens is the flow of the material is has a great velocity.
Oh.
It impacts the chutes, the mother plates of the chute as well. So to protect heavier what do you call it, loss for the maintenance, to have an unproductive, to avoid unproductive maintenance, what we do is basically we add on liners to the chutes, to the hoppers, to the bins. In fact, at the sides of the conveyors as well, to avoid damages to the actual mother plate or mother chute. And what it caters to basically the liners might look like a smaller piece, but to avoid a bigger maintenance loss, to avoid the downtime, we have it in a many major scales. So a small piece of liner depends upon the impact, depends upon the velocity, and depends upon the nature of the iron ore. We have a suggestion to the client on how the operation is.
Oh,
So when the operation is, if for example, if I start with the operation is highly abrasive, then and the impact is on a medium scale, where at that time we would be able to give them as an high life as an solution to it, because if you see high life as an liner, it is mostly catering to highly abrasive environment. If the fall of the iron ore is on a major scale, mostly to transfer chutes, diverging gates, where the fall is almost around 1 to 3 meters. So over there, there is higher impact. Abrasion is also there, erosion is also there. But when we are talking about impacts, then we talk about our high life hex Serra. So Super
okay.
Hex Serra comes into picture, and when Super Hex Serra, it has a capacity to absorb that impact and to cater it for a longer period of time. So as the environment or the operation system changes, the liners we provide or we give a solution to also changes. So when we are talking about what do you call it, clogging issues,
Yeah.
wet environment, that place we would have a Super X Smooth. With Super High Life X Smooth has a smoother surface finish. So what happens is when the material is muddier, and it is mostly, it has a tendency to have a higher clogging issue. That time, it due to the smooth finish, the material is easily flowable. So basically, we are helping the iron ore to have a smoother transportation from a primary crusher to a secondary crusher.
Okay. So, can you tell us more about the choco bars? Are they liners or something other than?
So chocobar doesn't look like a liner. If a liner looks like this, a chocobar looks like a biscuit shape or a choco bar
What
shape.
is the difference between them?
Um, in a chemical composition, there are a lot of difference, but these are mostly used for high abrasion.
Okay.
So when where liner are catering into multiple other things, Chocobar has a prediction of having it to a space where the space is confined. You can't just simply install a liner. That place you can add, because due to its size feasibility,
Okay.
you
So,
can add on to a, so majorly chocobars are used in boulders, a heavier boulder. So where what I said was gyrators. You can use it as a flat bar for a grizzly. You can also use it as a excavators, bucket protection kits. So over there we find chocobars as an application.
okay. Can you just tell us one case about the choco bar?
Chocobar is mainly what I have come up so far is mainly used in bucket protection kits, flat grizzly bars that I was seeing, which where now the grizzly bars are also located in a place where you are actually bifurcating the sizes. So grizzly bar looks like a net. So the higher, what do you call it, lump size stays on the grizzly, and the smaller chunk pieces falls below it. So it is like a perforated cage-like structure. So there to protect that part as well, a chocobar is being placed as a flat bar.
So, Shraddha, what are the difference between the hoppers and shoots?
So, as we were talking about, the major role and major process in mining is crushing and sizing. So, when crushing and sizing happens, if you see the entire layout of a mining plant or a mining sector would be based on conveyor belts. So, what happens is your major thing is happening is transferring of the what do you call it, bulk materials.
Okay.
So when you're transferring it, there are the conveyor belts end up to a chute or a hopper. So the major difference between a chute and a hopper is chutes mostly both are used for transportation. Both are transferring those bulk materials into a primary crusher to a secondary crusher, and so on and so forth. So what is happening in chutes is basically those are transferring the bulk material But in bins and hoppers, they are also used as a temporary storage. So when the what you call it, the flow of material is excessive, we hold the material to that extent for a temporary period of time. Then it can again slide it. So shoes, there are many different types of shoes, like transfer line shoes, divergent shoes, depending upon where the location of the shoot is, would then define the role of the shoot. So basically, divergent or an octagonal shoot or a reclaimer bucket assembly or these types of shoots are basically used for processing. So which department, which processing plant unit they are located in, that way it is. And also, if you see before a shoot or a hopper, there would be also a vibrating screen to it. So when the vibrating screening is also happening, it is actually defining the size and having a directional flow. So if the lump size is if there is a marking of a lump size ki about this, it should go back to primary crusher, and post to that, if the lump size is okay or below the range, it can then pass to a secondary crusher. So vibrating screening is also happening before transferring it to a shoot line. So it is like you are redefining the entire sizing process to it. So it helps you, it is basically you're sieving it, and it helps through what you call it, fining of the material.
Oh, great. So, Shraddha, thank you so much for having our podcast. Definitely, our audience have learned something.
IMCO Total Wear Solutions.